Calling to order the Planning Commission meeting for July 1st, 2021. Moving to the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have Commissioners Bouillon, Diata, Pearson, and Stolarski present. Commissioners Campbell and Millis are absent this evening. They let me know that they weren't able to attend.
Moving on to the approval of the minutes for June 3rd meeting, Planning Commission meeting.
I will make a motion to approve the minutes.
Can I have a second?
Second.
It's been approved and seconded. Can you have a motion?
All in favor.
All
if
in
anyone,
favor?
if
Sorry.
anybody has any changes,
Okay.
and I don't.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Yep.
Great.
Minutes are approved.
At this time, I would like to introduce Councilmember Olson. And if you have any comments or you can share with us.
Good evening.
Good
We
evening.
really don't have any updates other than we're having some interviews to fill the open spot on this commission on July 13th at our workshop. But I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any.
No questions, I guess. Thank you. Moving to the next item, we did a Planning Commission review. Emily will be presenting. No public hearing today.
Great, thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm Emily Shively, the Oakdale City Planner, and the applications before you for review this evening are the first development in the Helmo Station area. So where that's located, here is 694, 94, 494, so we're at northeast of that. And the Helmo Station area is generally this location, south of 4th Street along Helmo Avenue North. And this area was planned and completed, the plan was completed around 2018 in anticipation of the Gold Line Bus Rapid Transit Facility that's gonna run from St. Paul to Woodbury. And it'll have two stations in Oakdale. One will be at Greenway on the west side of the city, and then the other one on Helmo. And so on the right here, you can see the completed Helmo Station area plan. So the Gold Line Bus Rapid Transit is gonna come along 4th Street, and then it's gonna curve down and come to the station right here, just south of 3rd Street. So there'll be a new street that will run just south of the station, new streets that kind of will run north-south, and then east-west through there. And what we're talking about tonight is this development parcel up here on the southwest corner of 4th Street and Helmo, so that's where it's located. So this project is continuing the implementation of that Helmo Station area plan with the development of that multifamily site. So there are a couple of steps that we need to go through to bring this development to fruition. So ultimately, this is what the site will look like. So here's 4th Street and Helmo. This will be the new guideway for the bus rapid transit, and then the multifamily building in the corner there. So the first thing we need to do is replat. Right now, there are two parcels here. There's one that looks like that, and the other one that's generally this shape. And so what we're trying to do is create that triangle piece there in the corner. So we need to subdivide the two parcels into 4 pieces. So there will be 1 lot and block here, and then 3 outlots, A, B, and C. So that's the first piece, is just splitting those 2 parcels into 4 pieces. And then the second plat combines that lot and block with outlot C to create the development parcel. And then these remaining outlots from that first plat will become part of the guideway. Again, the guideway is going to run through here to the station. And then there'll be areas for stormwater ponding and open space in the neighborhood. So once that parcel has been created, we can do development there. And so Bethesda Cornerstone Village is proposing a 3-story, 71-unit building with 1 level of underground parking that'll have access on Helmo Avenue across from 3rd Street right there. So it'll kind of match up. There's going to be a main entrance on Helmo Avenue and another one on the west side of the building. So there's parking behind. This is the entrance to the underground parking. And then they have a play area for the residents near that west entrance. As part of the Helmo Station Area Plan, it was really important to ensure compatibility with this new development with the existing development north of 4th Street. So one of the important pieces, this is the landscape plan, a little abstract, but all of these little circles represent trees, and then they'll have plantings all the way around the building. So here along 4th Street, there's a pretty robust tree planting there to provide screening, both for the residents of this new building, but also for the views for the residents existing on north of 4th Street. And then you can see there's a little bit of a gap right here in the landscape plan. That will get filled in after the gold line has been constructed, because this area is in a little bit of the construction zone for that project, so we don't want to impact those trees during construction, so those will be placed after that's completed. So there will be screening for the residents on 4th Street, but then there's also screening for the residents of this new building from the guideway. And then the building is going to be finished with brick, glass, metal, and lap siding in 2 colors. So as you can see from the shape of the building, there's 2 wings. There's sort of this east wing and north wing. And so the east wing will have this tan and brown color scheme. And then the north wing has blue highlights to it. So those 2 different wings will be differentiated. And then they've provided us with a lovely rendering that makes it a little easier than those flat views to imagine what the project's going to look like. So this is Helmo Avenue North here. The new transit station will be there, so that's the guideway going behind the building. And then 4th Street runs along here. You can see that main entrance on Helmo Avenue. So staff review has determined that these requests are consistent with the comprehensive plan and meet the requirements of the Helmo Station planned unit development. I'm happy to address any questions you have at this time, and then representatives on behalf of the application are here if you have questions for them as well.
You've explained that very well, step by step.
I did have one question that you and I had talked before the meeting about some features that came about from the community engagement meetings several years ago. What features of those went into this plan, and how were the neighbors' desires met?
Yeah, so back to sort of our existing conditions here, there are a number of homes right north of 4th Street there. And so the idea is, right now, these sites are vacant. There was planned to be more industrial buildings on this site, very similar to what's in the Oaks Business Park right now. So, but once it was determined that the gold line was going to come through this area, the decision was made to take a step back and look at the big picture and what could really help increase transit ridership in this area. And so thinking about a more residential use of the site, we wanted to make sure that was compatible with the existing residential. And so some of the features of the plan, if I can pull that back up, are that any of the multifamily that's on this side is only 2 to 3 stories high. And then the multifamily that's the higher density on this parcel is a maximum of 3 residential stories. And then as you get closer to the freeway, the buildings can get taller. So this edge along 94, those buildings can be 4 to 6 stories. So, because they're much further away from this lower density residential north of 4th Street. And the other thing that was important was just to have more landscape screening along 4th Street here, again, to just kind of have that buffer and a softer edge. And so that's something that has translated into now this site plan. And so as I was showing before, pull up the landscape plan. We've got a significant area, it's over 30 feet of landscaped area for new tree plantings there to, again, kind of soften the edge of the building from 4th Street and those residents, both in this building and across the street. So,
Thank you for
And
that
that's the
addition.
area on the right, correct?
yes, so over here, this would be 4th Street there, so.
That's where the bigger
that's-
buffer, 30 feet, would be
Yeah.
with lots of trees, okay?
Yep. And there will be, I mean, this is illustrative, it doesn't exactly match the landscape
Right.
plan, so there will be trees that run along the trail here, but also additional tree plantings right at the front entrance. So
They expect this to be done.
I think that they're gonna be finishing up all of their approvals and getting their financing this year and starting construction in 2022.
Yeah,
Correct?
we're debating, obviously, because of the current market conditions.
If you wanna come up to the microphone, just introduce yourself and
sure,
yeah,
sure,
maybe
no
share a
worries.
little bit
Yeah.
about your timing.
Sure, so Tom Campbell, Vice President of the Real Estate Group at Bethesda, Cornerstone Village, Bethesda Lutheran Communities. So timing is, really, it's up in the air right now. We're trying to get a shovel in the ground in fall, but, you know, Minnesota Housing's a big player here as well. So it's either gonna be fall or spring start. And about a 12-month construction cycle.
And the gold line will be in when? When do they anticipate that?
So the schedule for the Gold Line is they're going to start construction in 2022, but we don't know exactly where along the 11-mile line they're going to start construction, and construction will be 2 years. So the line will be open in 2024. So this building will be constructed and occupied before the station is up and running, and that's why there needed to be that coordination with the construction to make sure that there weren't undue impacts, that they didn't spend a lot of, do a lot of investment. And I think you've been coordinating with the Gold Line on grading and stormwater and all those sorts of things. Yep.
Any more questions from commissioners? Comments? Any comment from members of the public? I suppose we can move on to the next item. That's item 6, informational items.
Well, we need to make some motions, some recommendations, to the city council on the 3 different applications. So we've got the 2 plats and the site plan, so we'll take each one of those
Separately,
separately. Yep.
okay.
I'll make a motion to recommend approval of the preliminary and final plat of the Cornerstone Village.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So be it.
We'll make a motion to recommend approval of the final plat of the Cornerstone Village First Edition, subject to the conditions.
Second.
Second. All in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Now moving to an item C.
Motion to recommend approval of the site plan of the Cornerstone Village, subject to conditions.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Moving on to items 6, information items.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. So, yes, these items will be going to the city council on July 13th for the next set of actions. So, thank you. The only informational items I have for you is just to note that the Tartan High School site plans that you reviewed last month were approved by the city council at their June 22nd meeting. So that project is moving ahead. And we do anticipate having a meeting on August 5th. So, with that, I'd stand for any questions. Otherwise, that's my update.
Any planning update? No?
That was
None?
it.
That was it?
Yep. Mhm.
Any more questions, comments before we adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Second?
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
All
Thank
right,
you.
very good. Thank you. One of the quicker ones.
Got her done.